did the Arlander Flying Brigade in the Arlander Tower. We had Arlander ATS and lots of other places. So, and of course there always is the dinner. So, 1993, the first class graduated. There was a stipendium from the Bromma Flying School, and you recognize the two people standing there, Mart Lubi and Oliver Link. The stipendium was they would come to Sweden for 1 week and have a little holiday, at the same time fly twin-engine aircraft, because that was not included in the Estonian education at that time. Here you have the boys at the Bromma airport, all young and pretty. And here they are in the aircraft, ready to go. Year later, 94 graduation class. You see the three girls in the front. That is, they excelled. They won next page. That's the stipendium. That's Kadri, Liz, and Annelie. I think all the three girls, they work in aviation somewhere in Estonia. And then we go back. So now we have 92. We had we started the training. 93 there was a new contract which ended in 94. 3,400 hours were flown during the year. That's quite a lot. But in 1994, something happened. We had been discussing for about 10 years with the Swedish CAA, why can't we have a pilot training at secondary school level? No. But then we told them, we have been doing this for 2 years now in Estonia with no high school. But so in 1994 they said, okay, you can start one in Sweden too. Our operation continues. This is the first ATC class educated at Tartu Aviation College. You recognize Otta Tower. Do you see the man with the beard in the middle there? Yeah. Who's this? Hans. Okay, and there is Mart also. There's some more people I do not really recognize. Of course, the Kaido Kazakh, the boat tour, and the dinner. Here, another visit. It's Jan Tam and Matti Sörmes. The man in the red jacket, that's my companion. We were 50% owners in Bromma Flying School. And his wife at the back there. This is somebody you know, Kaido Kazakh, playing the piano at our home. Because when we didn't work, we had a very good time together. You know, there were a lot of laughs and things like that. We, Endel Kert, he taught us how to fly Yak 52, so we bought one that we took back to Sweden for fun, you know, why not? And we made a very nice tour around Estonia with the CAA, on the islands and everywhere there. And you see Willy there, my wife. I look a bit confused there, I don't know why. And it is the wife of Matti Sörmes. This is Matti Sörmes. I'm sure you all have heard the name. Now, if there was somebody who was dedicated in the 90s to get this off the ground and worked very hard for it, he was a driving force. He is one of the people behind it all who made sure that, you know, the new aviation training finally could start. We shall not forget him. I'm coming to the end of the presentation. We are on short finals now. If you have any questions, put them now.
Thank you very much, Evert, and
Thank
it
you.
was a very nice presentation. and I see that there are a lot of young people who don't know this history, and there are a lot who know, and it's now a good time to remember this, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well.
Now, the only logical follow-up is, of course, Mart Lubi, whose pictures we just saw. He's a graduate of no high school, a good partner to Tartu Aviation College and Estonian Aviation Academy. He's experienced captain, instructor, examiner, chief pilot, training and flight operations manager, types flown Fokker 50, B737, CRJ 900, Nextant 400 XTI, Falcon 900 LX. Companies Ergon, Bakker Avio, Estonian Air, Fort Aero. Mart, can we hear him?
Hello?
Yes.
We can, yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Good afternoon. So, first of all, thanks, of course, asking me to give this presentation, which is about past, present, and the future. We already heard about the past. We more or less know what it is. And the pilot's training. No. Okay, there we go. So, why we need to train pilots? Because we have a lot of aircrafts in the air all the time. More or less, they think that there is like 10,000 max what we can have it at the same time. And of course, they expect to increase and double in coming years. So that's the one of the reasons. The past, Yak 52, which already were shown and talked about it, that was our first aircraft when I joined high school. It took like almost 3 months to have a 30 hours flight on this aircraft. And the reason was very simple. We had the 3 aircrafts. One was mostly grounded, another 2 were flying, and actually that was absolutely nice day when we had the 2 aircrafts operating. But that was definitely a great time. We were able to do, as you can see, it's acrobatic aircraft. You can do like spins, loops, all that nice stuff. +7, -5. Okay, that's how it looks from inside. Very sophisticated, as you can see. And that's the situation now, what the pilots are facing when they start their practical training in Bakker. Quite a different. And of course, after school, when you have done a good job, you can have a little bit better view as well. The past, how it all happened. It was definitely vision of these 3 people already mentioned. One was Matti Sõrmus, another one was Otto Taur, already left us, the both, and Rein is still here. Vision. Courage, believe, there is a mistake, planning, execution also mistake, and a little bit of luck. And it all ended up in no flight school. So it means really at that time when we were still part of the Soviet Union, not independent yet, there were 3 guys who had this kind of a vision and really like a belief. They were so dedicated to do that. That is something, I must say, these kind of things not really happening just like that. So, and of course, to think like they had like all the plan together in the very beginning, I don't think so. Of course, they had a little bit of luck, and that was the reason that all came together. But still, hard work, dedication, and all that. So I think we can make a big applause for the rain. I think otherwise we wouldn't be here today. Present, what we do. We have ATPL, we have a professional higher education, we have a nice simulator in downstairs, we have good materials, manuals, all this ATPL and all that stuff, diagrams. And of course, what it gives us? It gives very much better opportunities to the pilots, the students, to get the better knowledge, better skills, and so on. Now it's a question about the simulator or aircraft. There's always kind of like to try to find a kind of a balance somewhere in the between. Simulator is very good thing to practice instrument flying, for sure, to do different kind of, let's say, exercises. At the same time, we can't, of course, forget that the aircraft as such is also very important to have like a basic skills to fly aircraft, to land aircraft, take off, all this kind of stuff. Future, why the training is so important? How the pilot performance works. We just went through that stuff today with the students early on in the morning. For the performance to do the good job, we need some knowledge, we also need some attitude, and we also need some skills. All the skills and knowledge, of course, we can get from the school. For the attitude, you already have to have it. We can do a little bit about it, but not really much. So here is a very important to pick the right person. And if you later on during, let's say, this education, you see it's not going to work out, I think it's better to say as soon as you feel it's time to move on. This person, I think it's right thing to do. Because there can't be nothing worse than find out, let's say 10 years later, that actually the person don't have a right attitude and actually is not suitable for the pilot job. Skills. Air France 330, we all know what happened over the Atlantic some years ago, the same aircraft. Of course, a lot of stuff went wrong, but one of the things, the skills as such to fly aircraft when all the automation goes mad, you have to have it. Unfortunately, at that moment, they failed. Knowledge. That's another aircraft ended up in a river. Reason they had ice on the wings. Of course, ice on engines and all that stuff as well. But the reason is about the knowledge to understand what the ice can do for the aircraft. So you can't take off when you have ice on the wings. Attitude. That's the German wings. We all know it's a kind of catastrophic thing, and of course it is very, very sad to see these kind of things to happen. But still, the question is what we can do to avoid these kind of things happening again in the future. We as a flight school, that's again, pick the right person, train, and when you finally sign them off, you have to be sure that this person has all this knowledge, skills, and attitude to do the job. You have to also feel that actually you have a responsibility for this person if you sign them off. You can think in a way that, okay, it doesn't matter really because they will go to the companies and if they're not good enough, they will not going to be employed. You can't think this way. So, think about that. Communication, also pretty important thing. We know that it's kind of one of the worst accidents ever happened in Tenerife already a long time ago. 77, if I remember correctly now, two 747s collided, and mostly, of course, it's a little bit attitude problem as well, but still communication. So the communication is also very important. Who is responsible all these things? So is it the flight school, is it the company? Of course, eventually the both are. But that's something still, what I started, think about if you see or you feel that something is wrong, you have to step up, say, hey, it's time to stop here. So, different options. We know that there have been MPL, we know that there is a CBT, different ways to give a training. The CBT, for example, went through type ratings, I think 6. And I had in Montreal the CRJ 901, and there was a 2 weeks CBT training, sitting behind a computer. That's the most boring way to learn something. So the CBT, it is, let's say, it is okay to do some trainings. We do understand, but let's say to teach something like the aircraft, it is not best way to do it. Distance learning, good or bad? Some benefit. Of course, it is cheap. That's why there is a kind of like commercial pressure for it. But after some period, how much we really remember? We remember like 10% when we read something. And we remember more or less 70% when we saw, heard, discussed. And of course, 90% when we also do something. So, future, how to use the aircraft, how to use full flight simulators, how to use these fixed base simulators, that's a kind of a challenge. You have to find a good balance. You can't only use one like FFS, that you think that's the best thing. No, it's not. But to find a good balance there, that's something. Instructor experience, that's for both, for the theory and also for practical. There have to be at least, let's say, 30 to 50% from the instructors who really has kind of, let's say, experience from the high performance aircraft. To be able to kind of, let's say, to combine or, let's say, explain from their own experience how it works. Because if you go right after school to, let's say, teach others, what you're going to say? You're going to say like, okay, that's how I was told, and I was told that this kind of things may happen. But it's very, very different if you say that from your own experience. Communication. Back to that. Most important on communication is listening. Active listening. The difference is, the passive listening is like 20-30% of the information you actually get. Active listening, that's, we can't say 100, but it's definitely more. Active listening is how many channels we have. There was, when I was school, they said that Lenin can do 7 things at the same time. Actually, the person is not so capable. That's only one thing. You either listen another person, or you kind of do some selection in between. If you start to think what to say back, how to answer, you already stop listening. That's where the problems are coming. So, also verbal and non-verbal communication. Why I'm talking about this communication is still where the many, many problems are starting in aviation, in cockpit, in company. So, verbal and non-verbal communication. We know that the body language, what I'm doing here, gives 55% from the message. That's why it's also, when we were talking about CBT, why the CBT is not so effective thing. Tone voice as such is a 36, and the message itself is 9. You think it's right or wrong? Summary. Pick the right person. train properly, acknowledge skills, communication, motivate, and take responsibility when you're signing them off. Thank you.
Thank you, Mart. And we also have some students here. Maybe students have some questions to our very experienced instructor and pilot.
I think they asked all the questions already in the morning. Somebody has.
Thank you for the presentation. I would like to ask about your thoughts or also experience about the pay-to-fly schemes. What do you think about it?
Once again?
Pay-to-fly.
Pay to fly.
Yeah, what is taking over the
I think it's a
Aviation.
bad thing.
Yeah, but can you share your experience with this?
What I can say, when I was part of one of the airline which disappeared from the picture just recently, so we didn't do that. What they did later on, I can just say that I heard that they did. Once again, is it a good thing? As I said, I don't think it's a good thing. And there is of course, there is kind of, let's say, it's a little bit tricky thing. Again, if the production to the market of the pilots are too high, it means there is not, let's say, enough jobs for everybody, and that's kind of, let's say, one of the things which can also, let's say, push all this kind of pay to fly idea to come alive. But I mean, no. To make it short, no go. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now follows the announcement of the winner of the contest accomplishment of the year 2015 in Estonian Aviation. Please, Rector of our Academy and Chairman of the Board of Councillors, Matti Meos, will you come here and
ja nüüd siis on aeg välja kuulutada aastategu Eesti lennunduses. Palume siia ka Eesti Lennuakadeemia nõunikekogu esimehe Matti Meose ja saame siis üle anda selle rändkarika sellel aastal. Ja võib-olla siis annangi sõna Matile. Mati just tahab lugeda välja selle keerulise nime.
Tõepoolest, nii pika nimega tööd, ettepanekud ei olegi meil aastate jooksul olnud. Ma loen ette, mis tegu see on. Euroopa lennujaamade kõrgema organi ASC Euroopa poolt määratud žürii Best Airport Awards 2015 nimetas Tallinna lennujaama esikolmikusse kuuluvaks alla 5 miljoni reisijaga lennujaamade hulgas. AS Tallinna lennujaam.
Ja kutsume siia aktsiaselts Tallinna lennujaama esindaja.
Nii, no mina igistasin terve Everti esinemise aja seda tõlkida, seda mida Matil andis lugeda, nii et kuidagi lühidalt tuli välja. The Academy Board of Councillors nominates as winner of the award accomplishment of the year 2015 in Estonian Aviation, Tallinn Airport. And the accomplishment itself is ACI, Airport Council International Europe, has chosen Tallinn Airport as one of the best 3 among airports with a capacity up to 5 million passengers. And next, awarding of personal stipends to our best, very best students. Please, a representative of Kultuurkapital, Tartu Kultuurkapital, that is foundation, cultural capital of Tartu, Anne Evert, and sponsors, please be ready.
Et Tartu Kultuurkapitali juurde on siis asutatud Eesti Lennuakadeemia fond, mille kaudu siis lennundusega seotud ettevõtted toetavad parimaid Eesti Lennuakadeemia erinevate erialade üliõpilasi. Ja sellel aastal nüüd sügissemestril on välja anda meil siin 5 lennundusettevõtte nimelised stipendiumid. Ja alustame Aero nimelise stipendiumiga, et palun ka ettevõtte esindajad siia. Ja Aero annab stipendiumi lennuki juhtimise eriala üliõpilasele. Ja sellel aastal pälvis stipendiumi Heidi Mesipuu. Järgmisena annaksime üle Panna Viatiku nimelised stipendiumid, mis lähevad 2 õhusõiduki ehituse ja hoolduse eriala üliõpilasele. Palun, ettevõtte esindaja. Ühe stipendiumi pälvib Rebecca Tsero. Ja teisena palume siia Peeter Soasepa. Järgmisena lennuliiklusteeninduse nimelised stipendiumid, mis siis antakse ettevõtte poolt lennuliiklusteeninduse eriala üliõpilastele. Välja antakse 2 stipendiumi. Ühe stipendiumi pälvib Maarja Rüütsmann. Ja teist stipendiumi palume vastu võtma tundla Marleen Varblase. Järgmisena on üle anda 2 Tallinna lennujaama nimelist stipendiumi. üks stipendium läheb lennunduse side- ja navigatsioonisüsteemide käitamise eriala üliõpilasele ja Kurmet Holm. Tema nüüd kahjuks on õppetööl Tallinnas ja ei hakka nüüd siia sõitma. Ja teine stipendium läheb lennundusettevõtte käitamise eriala üliõpilase Karina Köörnale. Ja viimasena on üle anda ja esimest korda välja antav stipendium on Tallinna Airport GH stipendium. Ja stipendium läheb sellel aastal lennundusettevõtte käitamise eriala üliõpilasele Kevin Soonile. Tänan kõiki stipendiumite toetajaid ja soovin üliõpilastele edu õpingutes.
And now, letters of gratitude from Estonian Aviation Museum and Estonian Aviation Academy for participating in the program Estonian Aviation Days. Matti Meos and Jaanus Jakimenko, please.
Nagu teate, üks aasta püüame teha koos suuremat sorti üritust. See aasta tuli meil kõige paremini välja. Me saime isegi rahaliselt plussid ja miinused ühele pulgale. Külastajaid lennupäevadel oli sipa üle 9000, see Lõuna-Eesti kohta on päris hea number. Rahvale ka meeldis. Ette öeldes peaks kordama ja on planeeritud järgmisel aastal 4.–5. juuni, nii et olge valmis. Aga tuletame siis meelde, kes sellel aastal kõige rohkem vaeva nägi, osa võttis, toetas ja kunagi me ei ole tunnistanud Eesti Lennuameti osalust meie ürituses, aga järgi mõeldes, kui nad luba ei anna, siis üritust ei toimu. Eesti Lennuamet, tänukiri. Politsei- ja Piirivalveameti lennusalk. Tänav aasta olid nad väga töökad. Nii kui tulid, nii läksid. Tänan. Eesti õhuvägi. Ja Ämari lennubaas. Ma arvan küll, et ühe kandi meil on. Väga hea. Lennuliiklusteeninduse aktsiaselts. Siin on meil ka konkreetne partner, kes tööd tegi Mihkel Lääne, aga teda siin vist praegu ei ole. Paneme kõrvale. Tallinna lennujaama aktsiaselts. lennujaam on meid alati toetanud tugevalt. Ja Tallinna Airport GH. Nemad võtsid esimest korda toetusest osa ja panid ka kõige suuremad plakatid üles. Tartu lennujaam. Tartu lennujaamal oli see aasta vähe tööd, sest reaktiivlennukeid ei olnud, aga nad olid valmis. Port Aero aktsialits. Nad ei saanud meil küll maanduda. Bakker Avio. Ja Janek Albert lisaks. See oli mees, kes aitas meil ground handlingu eest maapealset tööd korraldada. Ridali lennuklubi, neid vist täna ei ole siin, Gert Kotkast ka mitte, Teet Jaugomägi ka mitte. Ja Langevarju klubi, kas Jutat on? Ei ole. Eesti Lennuakadeemia osales ikka päris tugevalt. Peaaegu pool saali tõenäoliselt oli siin kohal. Lauri Laasik. Tema juhatas piloote ja tegi ise ka kõvasti lennutööd. MTÜ Eesti Lennundusselts. Ja Grete Piirsoo. See tüdruk oli meil kõige hoolsam ja tegusam. Annan sellega sinu kätte. Aitäh. Ja siis on rida Grete paremaid ja vasakuid käsi Annika Ruusmäe, Allan Suimets, Kevin Uke. Kas nendest on kedagi siin? Nii, kui keegi ilma jäi, palun andke märku. Suur tänu teile kõigile ja loodame tegusat koostööd siis juba järgmisel aastal. Tänan!
And thank you all for listening to these nice presentations and it was really nice to see what others are doing, what was done 20 years ago, and during the later social event we can discuss these things and ask questions and hope you enjoyed this day and we'll see you after some time in Dorpat Center. So this day will be concluded and see you in Dorpat Center. Thank you.
Some announcements. The bus to Dorpat will leave at 6:15. And tomorrow we'll start at 10 o'clock, but morning coffee at 9. And bus from the hotel 9:20. Kes läheb autoga 0 korruse parklasse, palun. Üleval saab maksta.
Ütles praegu, aga ma ei kuule. Minu arust oli 8 Dorpatis.
Mis kell me Dorpatis on?
Nemad või?
Ei, ma mõtlen...
Mis kell hakkab? Kell 8.
Kas ma võin ka tulla?
Kuidas ei ole kutsutud? Sa oled kirjas. Kuna sa oled...
Ahah. Miks sa nii küsid? Nalja. See on väga loll nali.
Nii.
Ma ei tea, see oli sõjaväe, sai tervelt ja mingi medali. Vaata inimese elu päästis.
Selge. Aga äkki ma annan ikkagi sinu.
Muidugi anda, loomulikult. Kõiki osakonnas või enda ma tean.
Ei ole. Gert Kotkas, nagu nii.
Kotkas või
Lennukogudel ma olen torma ise, lennukogudel ise, väheneval on ise.
Ma ei saa neile enam